Uh, well, you see, look at that. I don't even know. Um, I mean, I can get upset, but not really Godzilla Kong style upset. That's very rare. Very.
I'm actually I was having this conversation with someone the other day because of course they were like a cliche of a Latino woman. They're like, you probably get so mad and fiery and scream. And I was like, no, I actually don't.
Alexander, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, Tara?
Well, I'm doing great and even better because I got to screen this at a Harkins Theater and
Oh
it's
well, I'm
fantastic.
happy that you had that experience. I got to watch it on a big screen as well, and that's I think that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Obviously, being safe. I have to ask first off, what is the art to playing an action star who clearly works out, but who's kind of a nerd?
Um, I was just really excited about that, and I thought that was I like the fact that he was kind of geeky, more of a scientist than a tough guy. Zero like alpha vibe at all. Like I again, there's enough of that energy from King Kong and Godzilla, so
Right.
I felt like, well, let's go in the different direction. And also because of the task of transporting Kong from Skull Island down to Antarctica and then into Hollow Earth, it's a crazy, crazy journey. And I like the idea of him being quite not incompetent, but like he is, he's a professor at a university. He likes to read
Right.
books and write, books and study rocks. He's a geologist. So I like the idea that he's never been on a big crazy adventure. He doesn't know like how to handle a weapon or because again it raises the stakes and it makes it a bit more perilous and in a way a bit more exciting maybe for the audience because again like it's not like oh he'll be fine, like it's probably won't be because he's incompetent.
Well, but you're right. He really isn't. But what was funny is I was convinced he had a background in riding crazy theme park rides because that trip to Hollow Earth, I mean, I didn't have anything near me in terms of a bag you gave one of the co-stars, but I would have used it. What was that like
Yeah,
to film? I mean, that is just intense.
we actually shot that on a soundstage in Australia, right next to a theme park, like and it was like so on our lunch breaks, not when we shot that sequence, we would run over and ride these like crazy roller coasters on right next to the sound stages. But for that week, when we spent the entire days in that heave, that yeah, the spaceship or whatever was quite intense because to
Oh.
do that for like 10 hours a day, you're pretty nauseous.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guarantee people were not feeling good
No, so
after
like
that.
zero acting required. Like we were all just like screaming, going crazy in there for real.
Okay, I am not a boxing fan, but what I loved about this, when you see the two finally go at it, and it's more than once, I will just say that, which is great to me. I recognize some of the moves. Like I saw a headlock in there. Like I recognize those moves. Did any of those moves harken back to maybe your playground days or wrestling with your brother? Were they moves you could relate to?
I could more relate to the moves that I was doing, my character was doing in the background, like just, oh God, no, please stop, don't do it. Like that was more me. Yeah,
Right.
I was not a very violent kid.
You seem, I've only met you, I think, one time. And it was, I mean, I know you're in Sweden, which is killing me because I can't wait to start traveling again. And we met during the Aftermath junket in London. So one of
Yeah.
these days, you strike me as a peaceful guy, somebody, like you just said, you weren't a violent kid, somebody that isn't provoked easily. Godzilla is provoked. We're trying to figure out what's making him mad. When was the last time you were actually provoked and got mad?
Uh, well, you see, look at that. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Um,
Well, I'm not
I,
going to do it.
yeah, it's yeah, water off a duck's back. Like I just try to be like,
Okay.
yeah, I rarely get. I mean, I can get upset, but not really Godzilla Kong style upset. That's very rare, very rare.
Well, listen, I appreciate your time. I do feel like if you're watching these films, all the destruction that takes place in the different cities throughout the course of these movies, I feel like Arizona and Sweden are really where people should move because they tend to get, they don't really get the brunt of any of this destruction.
No,
don't you think?
the two of the few places spared after they've gone at it.
Yep. Someone's thinking, I think it's us.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. I hope the next one is in person. Congratulations on everything.
So do
Stay
I.
safe.
Yeah. Stay safe out there. Thank you so much.
Take care. Congratulations on this.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much as well.
Well, it's funny because it looks enjoyable, but then that trip you guys take to Hollow Earth looks like absolutely no fun at all. And I don't know how you do on roller coaster rides and things like that, but what was that like?
I have motion sickness, so it was crazy. It was really crazy. It was really complicated to make, but I am so happy that I endured it and like a boss because it was worth it. It looked amazing. But it was really, really hard. It was a challenging movie physically. I think that doesn't look like it, but we had a lot of water stuff, underwater stuff, being tossed around, flying around. It was a lot.
And somehow you managed to always look fantastic after all of that. So clearly you model and I know everybody knows you're gorgeous, but how the heck after a day like that, do you still look your best? What is the trick?
I never feel that way. Like that's just hair and makeup. They're always there saving us, but it's not me. It really is not there. Trust me. You should see when I walk in, they're like, oh, what are we going to do with this today? Let's fix this. But it is so fun. I mean, and listen, I felt like this movie, it was an opportunity to play around and with the look and the makeup. And I usually like to not wear that much makeup, but it was fun. She's like an office badass, little sassy. I was like, I like it. Let's go a little bigger.
Who may or may not need a puke bag. That's all I'll say because your character is handed one. I won't give away if you use it at all. It's funny. This movie is about Godzilla. It starts off with he is provoked. No one knows why. What is making him angry? You strike me as somebody who is not provoked easily. When was the last time somebody really provoked you and you got mad?
I'm actually I was having this conversation with someone the other day because of course they were like a cliche of a Latino woman. They're like, you probably get so mad and fiery and scream. And I was like, no, I actually don't. I don't remember the last time I like screamed or like got angry or like, I don't argue, but when I do, I think it's like that terrifying angry. Like I just got quiet and I boiled and I just like give you those like knife eyes. But it usually is all involved with like work. I get annoyed with like, I am very like, I like things go like I'm always like, okay, what can we do? What can we do? We got this fixed. Blah, blah, blah. So when people are like lazy, it gets me pissed. I'm like, come on, like, don't be like this. Be better. Be better. You can do better. But I don't get annoyed at people. I'm very I'm very patient in general.
You know who else? It just dawned on me. I asked that question of Salma Hayek a couple years ago when The Hitman's Bodyguard came out and she played that great character of Samuel's wife. And she said the exact same thing. She goes, I get quiet and that's when people get scared because she's got that look where in fact, I think I started sweating in my interview with her when she gave me that.
It's fine. I didn't do anything. I'm sorry, Salma Hayek.
Kaylee is, gosh, she is so good in this. And clearly she has this unique bond with Kong. I love her too. Have you ever had that kind of a bond with an animal?
I have my dog. I've had her for 17 years. It's my baby. My mom always makes fun of me. I don't think she finds it really funny, but I'm like, I mean, my dog or you? Maybe my dog. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I've spent more. She's like, you're such a bitch. But I'm like, it's my child. I've spent 17 years with her. I've lived with my dog longer than I've lived with my mother in general. Like I left my home. I was really, really young. So I was like, to be fair, I've spent more time with her and she never barks back at me. And that really gets her some points. And you do. So, I mean, maybe my dog.
Listen, you don't have to explain it to me. I am convinced that they do a lot more sometimes than humans do, and that not barking is one of them. I hope the next one's in person. It's such a pleasure. Congratulations and stay safe.
Likewise. Take care.
You know what, Demian? You are so close. Actually, this is my Zoom leaderboard, and had I Had I been around for the land junket, I was out of town, you would have been tied with Joel Kinnaman here.
Darn it. How come I didn't make that board?
Well, you're now tied with David Oyelowo and Liam Neeson.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, all right.
Not too shabby. How are you doing?
Not too shabby. How are you?
I'm doing great. I feel like you have literally covered every dream actor scenario or actor's dream scenario, especially this year. You're in the outdoors in a cabin with a great sweater. You're in space in an awesome astronaut suit. And now you're in charge of a tech empire in one of the biggest blockbusters ever. I mean, seriously?
I know, right? And there's another very low budget film that I did in between in Mexico called Danica. And the beautiful thing about what we do, actors, is that the possibility of navigating into all kinds of budgets, all kinds of genres, all kinds of characters. I think that's, any actor's dream.
It's funny, when I did talk to you for The Midnight Sky, one of the things you said you'd been doing with your time was reading up on quantum physics and studying philosophers and learning about where we come from. I almost feel like that possibly was inspired by your character in this, who seems to have the same questions.
Yes, because we made this film before that. Right. And yes, that you see, every work I do, every film I make, and every character I approach, they demand different things from you, and they urge me to know this and that specifically, and they pay me to know more about life. And it's just a fascinating chance to do that.
What I loved about your character, I felt like you were this close. The only thing I felt like you needed was a little more gray. You were this close to being that Dos Equis most interesting man in the world guy. You had a drink in your hand. You were always dressed. I mean, am I right?
Yeah, darn it, you caught me. I was auditioning for that. That's my audition for that film. It is based on many different things. Also, I also thought of Clooney, because this salt and pepper-y type of look, I think it's great. It gives you this suave type of a rock star type of feeling. You know what I mean?
Well, I love his office too. I mean, he's definitely out to impress with all of the money that he has amassed. If I were to come over to your place, what is the most impressive thing that you have in there based on maybe your success as an actor and you were able to splurge a little bit?
I'll tell you, my most precious property is in the main, and it's a beautiful baby grand piano. And that's my most precious object. And it's just beautiful. It's just the instrument itself. It's beautiful. You open it and you go through it, and every piece of it, and then the sound, of course, and the time you spend in it. That's my most precious gift.
Well, I know you play the piano, and you know what? It's funny because this is one of those, I was fortunate enough to see this at a Harkins Theater. We've been open since late August, early September, and now our California locations are opening. So I saw this on a big screen. The score is impressive, but you know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have a nice little relaxing piano solo.
Yeah. Well, the Hateful Eight did it. The Hateful Eight. I do it there. Oh, masterfully. Yeah.
I hope the next one's in person. I'm gonna literally put it out there on my vision board that the next one, number 3, is in person with you, Demian. Congratulations on everything.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, honey. Take care. Right?
Good to see you. You know what's funny is I didn't know if I was going to get a movie that built up to one big fight. In this case, there are so many elements and it's kind of continual, which I loved. For somebody who's not into boxing, which is me, I was thrilled that I recognized some moves, like the headlock, for example. And there are some simple moves that I would imagine you pulled from maybe boxing or WWE. Is that the case?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I thought about WWE quite a bit, especially because, it's really about the ebb and flows that those fights have, they're very clever in terms of starting in one place and ending in another. And you have to always keep the audience kind of guessing where you're going. You kind of have to fake them out sometimes. And so that's an invaluable resource. And those things are just so fun to watch. And it's kind of like, that's what you want out of a movie like this. You want it to have fun with itself. You want it to be sort of self-aware and, to deliver on that level. And that's what I tried to do.
So who's the WWE star that would be Kong in your mind? And then who would be Godzilla in your mind?
You know, for me, like the one I always thought of was Mick Foley Mankind as he's kind of Kong, and I thought of the Undertaker as Godzilla. You know, and I'm thinking of a classic cage match from I think it was either late 90s or early 2000s that they did, and so that actually was one that I thought quite a bit about.
Oh, I hope hopefully they'll learn this if they don't already know it. I thought Kaylee was off the charts fantastic. And if you had given me one more shot of her in slow-mo looking back at Rebecca, I was going to lose it. How great was she? Where did you find her?
She really was amazing. And, you know, like this was her first movie, and you wouldn't know it from being on set with her, because she was more prepared and professional than just about anybody, you know. And like I felt like that, you know, I just kind of stayed out of her way as a director, because she knew what the character was thinking and doing at all times. And, you know, I was really fortunate to have great casting directors who kind of scoured the earth trying to find an actual healing impaired actress.
Right.
And you know, they quickly kind of figured it out. They narrowed it down to a very short list, and that's what they presented me. And Kaylee was just by far the best. She was just incredible right away, and so we never had any doubt.
Yeah, she's in a way the heart of the whole movie. I thought she was just a phenomenal choice. I was talking to Alexander earlier about obviously that trip to Middle Earth, I'm thinking of The Hobbit. That trip to Hollow Earth.
A lot of people call it that, don't worry.
Well, it's like the worst theme park ride known to man. And Alexander says that you guys shot next to a theme park, and sometimes they'd run over there and get on some of the rides. Did you?
You know what? I'm funny enough, like you know, I was always thinking about like referencing sort of the original Back to the Future ride at Universal, you know, like that was something that was always like kind of referenced in the way we approach some of that stuff. But I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to roller coasters. I remember a lot of the actors, especially towards the end, they started going to the roller coasters during lunch break and stuff. And I you know, I'm a little baby. I'm kind of afraid of roller coasters, you know, like I don't like that feeling it gives me. Like I've been on them, but like when I'm shooting a movie, it's like the last thing I want to do is like, you know, spin upside down at 100 miles per hour and then go back on set.
Well, listen, I am so with you. I'll hang out in the editing room or do whatever while they're all off doing their thing. Congratulations on this. What are the odds that your next movie is a face-off sequel? Because this is a face-off, what we just got to witness in the theater. Totally. So congratulations on everything. Hope the next one's in person, Adam.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.